Welcome to another Year of Goodness unboxing. Today we're going to be taking a look at Star Trek Captain's Chair to Boldly Go. Before I get started, if you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, and if you've already subscribed, thank you very much for your support. So I was in my local friendly game store tonight, and I came across Star Trek Captain's Chair. I've been wanting to play this, try it out for a couple of years now since the original came out, but it's been out of stock, and they didn't have the original, but they had the new set to Boldly Go. So figured I'd give it a shot and finally get to try it. Like I said, I tried to look at this, look for it a couple years ago, and when it was out of stock, I kind of accepted the fact that this was not going to be something that I would easily obtain. And so I got Imperium Classics, which is the same type of deck building system designed by the same designers here. And I really enjoyed that game, and I'm excited to see what's different in this this edition. So let's give it a look. All right. So wow. First up is a card list, which is littered with all kinds of icons. Okay, it's just single-sided. Okay, but these are, I guess, all the cards in the game and the different tags and stuff that they have. There's a rule book here. That's quite thick. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, so you got your components over here, talking about the common cards, the ship standees that you have, the solo components, and then a general setup here, like the play area that you're arranging here, and then your player setup, and then you can see sideways what this area is going to look like. Okay, and then going through the gamer overview, the structure, final scoring, resupply steps. Like I said, I think this is pretty similar to Imperium, which I'm familiar with, so hopefully it won't be too hard to learn it. The action steps, play operations, cleanup steps, okay, drawing to hand size, game concepts, all the different suits of cards, the different like traits, gaining new cards, taking cards. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this game. I know it's quite complex. Okay, locations, away teams. Yep. Captain's log, which is like that's kind of like when you used to put cards in your history in Imperium. And then example turn here. Final scoring, which I've heard that the scoring's much easier to deal with, so I'm excited about that. Scoring example, and then the anatomy of the cards and the components. And then the cadet training mode, which is like one of the solo modes here. It's just to kind of get used to the game. I think you don't have to manage a bot when you play that. And then going through all the different keywords. Lots of keywords. Yeah. Definitely have my work cut out for me with this. And then these are the decks. The different captains you can play with. Okay, and then an overview on the back and an icon reference. And yeah, so lots to unpack there. And then the training program. So this is for solo play. There's a Starfleet Command training program. I guess the cadet one is in the other book. And then this is like, unless this is just the cadet, and then, I don't know, it shows you how to play like the bot and to control them and how to take their turns. Hopefully it's smoother than Imperium Classics, which wasn't bad, but anything that's a little more straightforward would be nice. I know a lot of people really enjoy this as a solo game. It's only two-player or solo, and then a solo campaign that you can play with. Okay, all right, looks good. And then there's like a nice solo reference card on the back, which is cool. And then we have some punch boards. Yeah, I can get into those. Okay. Okay, I got 3 punch boards. It's like medium thickness cardboard. Actually pretty decent. And there's like a nice matte kind of finish on them, so they're not like shiny, which is nice. Component quality is definitely better than it was in Imperium. Different publisher, but still. And then here's some of the ships and some of like the multiplier tokens, I guess, if you run out of resources. Okay. And then here are more ships, so plenty of ships. And they have the names on the back, which is nice. Okay, and then we have player boards. Okay, so you have one for Khan, which I think Khan works a little bit differently than the other captains. As far as I know, they have like different types of traits and things like that. So their gameplay is very different. These are the other captains. You have Kirk, Archer, Giorgio, Soval, and Repner. So these captains are like the same as the, I think they function pretty much similar as the captains in the base game. So you have your like different types of tracks here, your science track, your diplomacy, and maybe military or attack track or whatever. And then there's like an A side and a B side that you can play with. So those are nice. All right, and then we have a truckload of cards in here. These are 5-year mission upgrades. So these might be like solo or campaign. If you play with the campaign, maybe there's like upgrades and stuff that you can gain. There's a couple, I think, cards that are meant to go into the first edition if you have it. They're like some errata cards. So some of those. There's a score pad that is hard to get out, but there's a score pad here. Okay, so that's those. There's a couple cubes here just to track the 3 different resource colors. Okay. Then you have some lanthanum or something like that. I forget what these are. These are kind of interesting. They're like plastic. They're like little gold bars, but they're like kind of like hollow plastic. Kind of interesting. They're very lightweight. They have like kind of an interesting like clacky sound to them. So that's those. And then there's like the dilithium crystals. These are pretty cool. They're nice. Reminds me of little versions of the ones that are in Century Golem. Okay, and then let's see what else we got in here. A bunch of standees. Okay. And then we have like the, I forget what these are. These are the action tokens. They're like the little chips. I'm not the best Trekkie around, so I don't know that I know all the terminology for these. Okay, but these look pretty cool. And then you have a ton of cards. So cards here, these are like captains. I guess I can go through the card quality a little bit. Yeah, but this is like Khan. I mean, they're a little thin, but they're like stiff. They're not too bad. I think they're probably better than the cards were in Imperium. I felt like the ones in Imperium were like, they were a little glossy for some reason, and they really stuck together. These are fine. I think if you don't sleeve cards, it's not that big a deal. If you want to sleeve cards, then you're going to want to sleeve cards. So, those are cool. And then we got a lot more cards. Artwork's decent. I think it's like taken from probably like the shows and stuff. It's just like some. These are just like, I think just determines like the game and how the game flows, and some like player rates here. There's nothing too interesting there. And then Got another set here. Okay. Okay, got some more like planets and stuff. Vulcan Science Directorate. Oh, Golden Gate Bridge, that's cool. Oh, Starfleet Command. The headquarters. I mean, I think that the art's like a little cartoony. It's like photos with like almost like a filter over them. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like some of the photos in like Arc Nova. I think they actually look fine. Yeah. I think they're actually like pretty good. It's a little like all over the place with the different types of art. But actually it looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of cards in here. Oh, there's a little dog. Okay. Like I said, I don't have a ton of experience with Star Trek. My experience with Star Trek is that I saw a few episodes of the original series. We did watch all of Next Generation, so I've seen all of those episodes like once or more. And I've seen like some of the movies, some of the Next Gen movies, and then the more recent movies, and we watched the newest Paramount series, Strange New Worlds. I don't know that we saw every season or episode that was out for it, but we saw what was available at the time a couple of years ago, and we really enjoyed that. It was really good. So I'm excited to get into this. I'm sure that if you know the source material well, you'll probably get a little bit more out of these cards and the interactions and the way that the things work. But I think it's still interesting. I've heard that they're also going to do maybe something else in this system. Would be pretty interesting to see. And here's some more of like the, I guess, lower deck cards, more like cartoon cards. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. So who knows what they're planning for with the new game. I'm sure that there's probably going to be more content for these games. I'm going to split this in half. We'll go through it real quick. Okay. Yeah, oh, I remember these, the binars. Yeah. So some of this stuff is still from Next Gen. Yeah, I definitely remember some of these. Okay. I'm excited to get into this. I think it's cool. The artwork's like pretty good. Yeah. Cool. And then the last little bit is these. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what else they're going to be making in this system. I mean, Star Trek is cool. I think that I don't know if they would try to go and get the license for like a like Star Wars or another thing, but another IP. I'm not sure like where the system would fit in. I'm sure that they could do some kind of like co-op as well, maybe in the future, which would be kind of neat, like a 2-player co-op or something. But that's it. So those are the components for Star Trek Captain's Chair to build Miko. So I'm super excited to like get into this game and to try it. And then once I give it a couple of plays, I'll post some impressions up. And there'll be some more content from this. But yeah, so that's it. Like I said, if you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing. I appreciate all the support that you can give me as I try to kind of grow this channel and do a little bit more. But that's going to be it for this Euro Goodness unboxing. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.